I cannot believe that it's been almost 3 months since I quit my job as a full-time tenured professor in criminology. I literally am still trying to figure out who I am, what am I doing, because right now, guys, my whole life has pretty much changed. Long time no see, y'all. I feel like I've been leaving everybody outside of the dark, because even when I did announce that I was quitting, that's essentially what I did, quitting my career and really traveling, transferring over to another career, I never thought about how much it could affect me as a person and pretty much my brand, if you really think about it. So let me rewind. All right, professor life has not been easy for me, and essentially probably due to the fact that I started teaching when I was 21, 22, but I essentially got this big time job, I would say big time job, professor job, here in Georgia when I was just 26. And if you kind of think about everything dealing with my whole life, I've pretty much been in school since the age of 3. I have not left. All I did was pretty much say, okay, I just want to be behind the doors. I've been having so much going on during my time as a professor, dealing with uppity people, but also dealing with students who basically have gotten over due to the fact that not only am I a brown-skinned woman, but I'm pretty much the only one, or was the only one in my department. And it kind of felt like I didn't have anybody to take up for me. I couldn't speak up. I needed this job, and essentially it was almost like I was put in this position to just be like, all right, I should just be grateful to actually have this job. So fast forward 8 years, and I'll say fast forward 8 years because so much had happened between that. Fast forward 8 years, I still teach the hardest topic, I would say, subject, that a lot of students don't like. They don't like statistics. So at this time, you know, of course, you always get a student that's going to complain. You get a student that's going to complain, but the thing is, you have to think about it. They complain because they're not upholding their end. So that was fine. That was probably the thing that I was expecting. But this student, I particularly had an issue with because they didn't do nothing that they were supposed to do and pretty much blame their age on why they were failing the class and why they didn't do well in the class. I failed them the first time. So my chair, due to the fact, and this is, I'm not trying to go in on my chair at the time because he is still chair now, but he's like a people pleaser, but he's also one of those types of people that, you know, they run their mouth behind closed doors and assert all this power, but then when it comes time to it, they don't want to, you know, fess up to the stuff that they say. Anyway, so I was, you know, doing him a favor, being a team player, and was like, all right, this student just needs stats, you know, to pass. And this student's age, she's 69. Okay, whatever. But she gonna do this work, and she gonna do it right, or she gonna fail the class again because she entered the class with a 40-something. You need to see the pass. A 40-something compared to a 70, that's a big gap. So I was like, all right, suck it up, Brittany. I got another, you know, aging individual in the class the spring of 2024 this year. And I was like, all right, you know, we can make it work. I got to be on campus anyway. Let's do it. Y'all, it just didn't happen like that. So this student did everything in their power to make me look bad, make me seem like I was incompetent, make it seem like I was not trying to help them or do my job. And I was like just sitting there laughing because everybody around me knew about this student. But the thing is, everybody didn't feel the repercussions from my perspective. I'm black, I'm a female, and I'm the youngest, one of the youngest in the department. So it was almost like nobody stood up for me. So come to the end of spring 2024 semester, this past May, she didn't do what she was supposed to do. And I was informing my chair about this. And he's like, oh, okay. Submitted the grade, changed back to an F because that's what she earned. He signed a piece of paper. Thought I would hear nothing else about it. And even if I did, I would have respected them enough to come to me and say, hey, I want to have to change this. We can kind of make this work, blah, blah. I would have respected that. So there was a training that I needed to do my physical training for the Department of Corrections here in the state of Georgia. And during that time, all of this stuff was unfolding. Y'all, why by the time this training ended, he didn't change her whole grade, nobody notified me, and she graduated. You know how that makes me feel as a person who have done every single thing in their power, stayed after, answer emails when I'm not supposed to answer. Like, I go above and beyond for my students, and to have this person to do that with the validation of a professor who knew what the heck was going on, I was like, absolutely not. And I think it was at this moment, you know, with all the other stuff that went on the past 8 years of me teaching, I was like, yep, this is it. This is where y'all have basically said to me in my face that we don't respect you. We don't care how hard you work. We're always right. So you know what? I was like, let me do y'all a good favor. Here's my letter of resignation. I don't care if I don't, you know, if I lose tenure. I don't care if, you know, I don't meet the standard for retirement. I don't care. I'm not about to stay in a position for the money. That's not what I'm about to do, especially when I'm going to the hospital, when I'm stressing myself out, having major headaches. What's the point? I'm supposed to be in a position where I love. I don't care about the title. I don't care about none of this stuff. I want to be able to love my job, come home, and be like, I actually made a difference. That was not the case. Granted, let me say this, granted, she was just one of hundreds of thousands of students I've had. And when I tell y'all, I still communicate with most of my students that I've had in my classes. They are the most amazing group of young women and men who I've encountered, who I pretty much have been like, I consider them my kids because I don't have kids, but I also consider them as my friends because now that I've seen them like grow up, some of them have PhDs now, some of them are actually working, and I see them and I'm like, it's one of those good things. But the thing is, I'm not about to work for a place who's going to say, oh, we uphold all the rules, procedures, and all that, and we expect that of our students, and you're not even doing it. I'm good. I'm so good. Like, it's just not worth it. So after 8 years, I said I'm done. I just left completely. I didn't even look for another job. I think that's how done I was. And I do look back and I'm just like, maybe I jumped to conclusions of maybe I should have just, you know, waited. But after 8 years of the same BS, it was time to go. Definitely time to go. All right. I just got so really emotional about that, but it's off my chest. That's kind of what happened, kind of led me to where I am today. Now, don't think I didn't have stuff already out there where people was like, hey, we'll take you. One thing that I think they took for granted was the simple fact that you have somebody here that's young, determined. I'm going to grind no matter what. But the thing is, there's other agencies out there that is looking for somebody like me. Oh, baby, I had 2 agencies fighting for me. And one came back with a great offer, and I took it. And I think it was the fact that I could get to still do something within the same realm, still in criminology, but I also get the chance to teach. I get the chance to make a difference. And I have people who's going to tell me like it is. Period. Now, I will tell you guys this. I miss teaching at that level. I do miss teaching at the college level. I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. And even recently, I can say I have been looking for like part-time teaching jobs because I really have learned, you know, from the, you know, just kind of taking a step back from the inside out, looking at myself, trying to figure out what really was my emotions. It wasn't so much teaching. It was more so the people, the dynamics, the situation, that whole environment I was in that I did not like. And I also felt like I didn't have anybody to have my back. Now, I did have people have my back behind closed doors. What the heck that's gonna do? If I'm the only one speaking up on stuff, so all y'all are terrified to lose something, what that tells me is you're really okay with it, with being comfortable with the paycheck, doing what you need to do, but not okay with change. For me, if something don't feel right, if it's not looking right, I'm gonna speak up. And I'm gonna look at y'all around and be like, what the heck? If y'all gonna speak behind closed doors, speak up in front of. That hasn't happened. So I'm actually kind of glad I left that place. Now, I am looking at teaching jobs, and of course there's a bunch of universities that would love to hire me, but I don't think I want to go back full-time teaching. I think I would more so either like to do it online if I do go back full-time, but I think part-time, just getting that feel would be okay. Where I am now, I am really a curriculum specialist. It's hard now because I'm only focusing on one thing. And when I tell y'all, I did so much as a professor that I'm just like, this one thing, I'm just like bored out of my mind. And I think it's given me more time to really think about like life after academia, life after being a professor, life after school. Because that's what it feels like, life after school. I have not been out of school. These last couple months, I'm just like, I have not been in really academic setting. Even though where I work is actually a training center for police officers. So in a way it is still academic, but it's more on the practical level rather than, just lecturing in front. So it's a little bit different, I would say that. But these last few months, I have really tried to figure out me. Figure out my brand, because Dr. Brittani was that professor that did everything, I'm not a professor anymore. So who am I? Who am I really? And along this way of trying to figure this out, I hurt my foot again, just like I did in college. And now it's really like, all right, gotta slow down on the fitness. So who am I? Who do I want to build myself up to be at this point? And even when I look back, I can honestly say that, Brittani, you didn't change. You're still a doctor. You're still Dr. Brittani. You're still a mentor. You're still a person who likes to teach people. And I had to realize that because there's a video I've been sitting on for the longest that is one of the biggest accomplishments that I've done as a professor. And I'll say that because that's how it started. That I'm like, why do I have to look at the simple fact of being enrolled in an academic setting as a teacher? Because I can do that anytime. So it has been one of those journeys that I'm just like, oh my God. So I just wanted to come on here to really be like, all right, y'all, this is new Dr. Brittani. This is Dr. Brittani that's really going to really pour out who she is, but also I'm learning also how to navigate life. So I want to bring y'all in on so much stuff that I've kind of started to do, so much stuff that I'm seeing, but also I hope that kind of making a little bit of a transition, just a little bit, that I can actually inspire people to, be okay with speaking up, to be okay with not letting people walk over you, to be okay from walking away from almost a 100K job, because that's what I did. That's what I did. And I'm okay with that because the job that I have now, I live comfortably. I took a pay cut, I did, but I'm still able to do the things that I love to do. On top of still live comfortably, pay my bills, and be okay. That's okay. And this is where I always, I'm so grateful to God because I really believe that that moment that happened really was like the moment where God was like, okay, you have these things set up. You've been working with these different agencies. You're getting yourself out there. Now I could put something in front of you to say, hey, you need to go. It's time for you to go. And I think he was really pushing me to really spread my wings and let me know that it's okay. You're okay. You don't have to stay in that safe zone anymore. Because school was a safe zone for me. School has always been that safe zone for me where I felt comfortable, where I felt, that nourishment. And it was almost like God was like telling me like, hey, it's time to go. It's time for you to find who you are. You have the tools, you have the means Go find out who you are. And I feel like I'm listening, and I feel like even these last couple of months, I'm like trying to find who I am at the age of 35, almost 36. But I am the most happy I've been as an adult. I am the most secure in me, and I applaud anybody out there who decides to say enough is enough, to really know your worth, but also to seek out those, how can I put it, those opportunities that are already out there, because they've been there for me. And it's uncomfortable. When I tell you, when I made that jump, I was so confused, lost. My whole routine of the last 8 years of my life have been startled. I didn't know what I was doing, but I feel like it was mostly fear of the unknown rather than fear of me actually doing it. And me being the person I am, I like to know everything that I'm doing. I like to know what I'm doing tomorrow, all that stuff. So it was more so out of my character for me to go ahead and be able to be happy, be able to do the things that I love still, but also to surround myself with people who not only believe in me, who's going to have my back, who's going to tell me like it is in my face and not beat around the bush, but who also will be like, hey, Brittany, we got your back 100%. I've never felt so much comfort right now that I do, that I really am like, okay, Brittany, you not only did you make the right decision, but now you have the opportunity to really find out who you are while still keeping your values, while still keeping the things that you hold most close to your heart. So I'm just forever grateful for everything panning out the way it has, and it going so well so far. Okay, since I got that out the way, now I did mention earlier that I was withholding the video. So the biggest opportunity that happened to me was to create a program, and I named it after me, called the Dr.Brittani Standard. It's basically a health and wellness program for agent officers, to where they have an assessment that's a standard and a 10-week training program they can follow to meet the standard. And I'll kind of give you guys insight. It's been working well. The data is showing that these special agents have been doing so well. But it's the simple fact that I've been so scared to even think about it, look at it, and even show the excitement I had when I actually started to really start this program up with the special agents, before I actually quit as a professor. But now I think I'm ready to show you guys, because you can actually see and hear the excitement in my voice. And I'm so excited that I got the opportunity to use my skill set for that. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, watch it, especially just, embrace the fact that no matter what, if you work hard, people will seek you out and look to you for certain things, and they will do everything they can to motivate, to uplift you, and do everything they can for you. And that's kind of what Georgia Department of Corrections did. I am going to really come on here and update you guys and really start a series on like professor life, afterlife. That's kind of how I feel. Afterlife. After really getting out of the comfort zone. So I want you guys to continue to lock in. But I think showing this video first, I think this will give me closure on my life as a full-time associate tenured professor. Enjoy.